Alright, today is February 18th, 2014. I've got all my cameras running and everything else. Yesterday I went by to pick up Gracie and nobody answered their phone, nobody answered their door, nobody came outside, yet all the vehicles were there. And today's a court-ordered day. I agreed to this dancing stuff. It was my idea, but the whole subject, I still get my time with Gracie, and what they're doing right now is they're taking my time away from Gracie, because that's the reason why I have her on dance or on gymnastics on Monday and dance on Tuesday. It divides up my time, but I still get my time with her, just not as much in each day, but I still get this full time. And all of a sudden they don't show up. They now officially owe me a month's worth of time with Gracie. From all the other times for the last couple of years, they have not let me have Gracie. They didn't give me any makeups or anything else. They cost me time and money, but most of all, they've cost me my time with my daughter. I'm hoping they're there today, because like I said, not there today. I'm having the cops get involved. Because what they're doing is that's completely wrong. And they don't see themselves as doing anything wrong. But they also didn't see nothing wrong with Tim Pool, a pedophile. They didn't see nothing wrong with any of the Johns that Mike was sleeping with that were married or that were drug dealers. They didn't see nothing wrong with Benny Trevino, who was a murderer out of prison. Met him in prison when met him in prison when her brother was in prison. And then you ask them, and the brother should have never been in prison. It's always the cop's fault. It's always everybody else's fault. Thank you. However, when we go into court, then they blame all the cops that were sticking up for me and everything else, even though I don't know some of the cops. But what they do and their lawyer uses is a lot of stuff against me, yet they never once produce a single shred of evidence. But the judge is found in their favor over no evidence, and my lawyer and I have had a problem with that, especially me. I've had a problem with that because, you have to have evidence behind all this stuff. However, we go into different courts with different judges each time. Take, for instance, like the phone thing. Have I ever called Mike or made any phone calls? No, I have not. Did I ever send like hundreds of text messages to her and everything like that? No, I have not. When I knew her and everything was fine, I always asked how Gracie was, or, I told her I was on my way, stuff like that, and I kept every single text message. We go into court and she tries to tell the judge that I had all these harassing, but when she was asked to produce the text messages, she didn't have them anymore. There was no way for her to get them. Nobody ever seen them except her. She even tried to say the cops had them, but she didn't remember who the cops were that seen them or anything else. Okay? So the next time we went into court, the judge found in her favor due to text messages that she didn't have. So then the next time we went to court, I was calling her and sending her. Well, then all of a sudden, her excuse for not having, because she doesn't have them because I didn't send them, was AT&T doesn't keep phone records, and that she couldn't get anything from AT&T and all this other stuff, which is complete BS, and everybody knows it. Well, the judge didn't do a bench ruling. He did a ruling by mail. I didn't get any trouble, but he did a ruling by mail. These are the things I had to deal with in court many, many times over, and those are just two of the small things. It's like the neighbor trying to go on stand, trying to say I was running through backyards. Well, first off, the neighbor was lying. Second, I've never ran through a backyard in my life. Third, there is no backyards. 4, you can't see into the backyards from the neighbor's house, or even standing directly outside their houses or on the sides or anything else, you cannot see into the backyards. They're 3-story houses. All of them connect, and there is no possible way of being able to see in the back of them. So the neighbor was lying. Then the neighbor said it was that he caught a deer and a buck and all this other stuff. Well, actually he didn't. It wasn't even hunting season at the time. If he caught a deer and a buck, then he'd be in jail, because it was for children to go hunting, not him. And at no time did he say, he always knew that. Well, he fooled the judge. And those were the two things, text messages and that were the two things the judge bought into. Well, then this family keeps trying to tell me that there was people that walked in on me and my ex-partner, Ralph, having sex together, which was a complete lie, because I'm not gay and Ralph's not gay, and Ralph never lived with me and I never lived with Ralph. And then they try to tell everybody that they saw it on video cameras and everything else. Well, when they found out there was no video cameras, then they changed it to say this one guy, this Big John guy, was sitting there saying he saw it on video and all this other stuff. Well, when they found out that guy was lying and everything else, then they went off this guy named Bob Lang, All these people, by the way, we either fired or were doing drugs down at the nightclub, and we fired. Well, then Bob Lang, he was the, wanted to have part of the nightclub, and he hated us because we kicked him out of there. So they said that this Bob Lang guy was sitting there saying he walked in on my partner I having sex, which never happened, because it's not even truthful. Anyway, they kept going on, and everything they say is just about one lie after another. And they try to bring certain things up in court. Well, the problem is, then they change their testimony, change their answers during the next court. But the judges won't let us bring up stuff from the past court to show, hey, they're lying. They keep changing their answers according to what they feel the judge has to say. And then they tried to say that that Matt Stapp is innocent. He's not innocent. He tried to kill Lexi. I mean, it showed she had fingerprints on her throat. The cops, she went right to the cops right after it happened. Else now, is Lexi a drug dealer? And well, I don't know. Did she get caught with meth on her and stuff? Yeah. But has Matt? Yeah, Matt's done the same thing. He's gotten caught, trying to sell pills and trying to sell everything else. Wouldn't surprise me right now if he's actually dealing in it directly out of their house. So, as you can see, I do not trust them. I mean, Teresa Cantor has lied more than Micah, and she's the one that when Gracie was born, after that we were waiting on the blood test, which, by the way, was not my idea, it was my lawyer's. And my lawyers can attest to, I didn't want to get a blood test done because I always believed Gracie was mine. And I've never had, but because of everything I was going through, they basically insisted I get one, saying that's the reason why I hire them, is for situations like this, because somebody like Micah, they're purposely trying to lie to, they're shady like that. That's just how they are. Anyway, so as we're waiting on the blood test, Micah came up to me Micah's mom first came up to me and said, that 99% of the time blood tests are wrong, don't you? Well, that was just a couple weeks before I got a blood test, and I know because it was, anyway, so then about a week before we got the blood test, Micah was getting really nervous, and because I was around Gracie every single day, and then Micah basically